Good evening, Danvers. Welcome to the Topics of the Town News. And we are here today with my two favorite friends here. We have Mr. Tony Betancourt, who is very outspoken about the town, and he deserves a voice to be heard. And we also have Michael Bean, our
Good evening.
new candidate for the Board of Selectmen. And what we're going to try and do is introduce the candidates as we go along with our shows. So stay tuned for future appearances by our candidates, and welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Thank you.
Today, the agenda and opinions are solely by the topics of the town host, the guests, contributors, and commentators. Our leaders would like to have us believe that everything we need to know is on the town website. Well, you only find out what they want you to know.
No question in my mind.
Now, personal experience as of today, I went to the town hall and asked at the clerk's office whether we have a hard copy of the proposed budget. They said no.
Oh.
So I went up to the town manager's office, and the only saving grace that the town manager has is Ann Freitas, who is handling his office, because she even told me they don't do that anymore. We used to have to send out a hard copy to the town meeting members so they can legitimately discuss the budget when they want you to come to a all-day Saturday, March 16th presentation, that they want to have this dog and pony show of what have they done for all the money that they've spent last year. But they don't tell you exactly where this thing is going. So
You might have too many questions that way.
well, no questions are ever asked because everybody's afraid of them. The thing is that I just wanted to make sure that the town meeting members deserve to be informed about what the budget is all about, because they are being blamed at the end of the fiscal
yes.
year that, hey, the town meeting approved this.
But they don't let us vote.
They don't let us vote, is right, but that's okay. So, I just want to reintroduce my friend Albert Einstein, and therefore Albert has been totally correct in the statements that he's made years ago. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. And we're finding out more and more that by withholding information from our residents and our elected officials, we are creating an environment where people are voting and they don't know what they're voting about. So, I also found another quote by Mr. Einstein, and this one is probably more appropriate than even the first one, and I think I'm going to table that one from now on. But this one is, unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth. Just think about what he's trying to tell us. If we don't think and dig into the information that's required to be used by our elected officials and our residents to be informed, we are the truth is really being hidden away from us. And what we need to do, and just give you a little background about Einstein, and he comes from the old country himself. Einstein wasn't shy about expressing his political views, like we are not ashamed or abashed about complaining about our town government. They don't like it because I have myself done it at the school committee and at the Board of Selectmen, And maybe tonight we'll have to go to a meeting about what will happen with our new structures that are being built on Maple and Hobart Street,
Yes.
and nobody knows what's going to go in there.
I don't think they know.
I don't think they know either. But Albert Einstein wasn't shy about expressing his political views. He was an outspoken critic of nationalism, which that's happening right now in our country. He was a pacifist. I think many people are very pacifistic. And he was critical of capitalism and in favor of socialism. Well, that sort of didn't lay back into my repertoire of what's going on in our country. When Einstein moved to America, it didn't take long before he was on the radar of J. Edgar Hoover. And we all remember, I don't know, some of you guys may not remember, but I remember J. Edgar Hoover. He knew exactly who was doing what to whom. By the time of Einstein's death, the FBI file on him was 1,427 pages long.
Wow.
So they kept good records of him. The town government, now let's go back and talk about our town government, is deaf to the issues that count. We are overtaxed and abused as ratepayers in the delivery of utility and basic services. We need relief. This town went a step further for the special town meetings that we've held. We've held two. One was the official special town meeting, and then we had to hold a second one, which was to close the original one.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
Well, then we'll get to that point.
Couldn't even speak.
That one we need to explore. They directed all interested parties to the website for town meeting warrants and information related to the warrant articles. How do you like that? They want you to know less so your town meeting elected member does not have any idea of how to vote, or if they know what they're voting on. So this is an example, and this is the special town meeting. But as we talked about earlier, is I went to the town manager's office and asked for a hard copy of the proposed budget. They don't issue it anymore to the town meeting members. So what do they expect them to do at this March 16th meeting? They just want to brush over everything and say, okay, go and vote yes for everything.
Is it online?
Supposedly is online. I resist that fact according to Einstein. I don't want to be one of the idiots that doesn't know what the heck is going on. I asked for it directly. So, if we can have the clip that we had for the special town meeting, just want to go over real quickly, and we'll leave the mics on, and if you can comment if you want to. So can we run that clip? Here's just an introduction of people gathering at the auditorium, and 76 individuals came out for this 86, I'm sorry. Well, 76, 86.
Well, wasn't 118 we did?
That's right. And there's 144,
Yes,
149
Yes, 149.
that actually
Right,
vote,
exactly.
typically.
Yes.
Here they get ready to read the rolls and ask if anybody's there. So if we can turn the speaker up a little bit.
Jean G. Argento.
No, she's talking. She's
Michael
asking,
P.
Oh,
Armstrong.
is this the roll?
She's doing the rolls.
William Bill Bates Jr. Janet L. Bennett.
Mr. Bennett was there. And we know that. And I cut out the rest of it because it wasn't really important.
Louis J.
But we
Bernazani.
get to the explanation of what has to happen
There we go.
The room will be
by
in
the
order.
legal counsel.
If you can't hear,
This
then
one you
point
need to
order.
raise the voice.
Yeah.
All right.
I understand
All
that.
right, can you hear now? Okay now?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
So members were notified that it was necessary
Raise
to
the
be here
voice,
tonight
please.
since there was a lack of clarity at the conclusion of our last meeting. Out of an abundance of caution, it was determined that although the business of the meeting was concluded on March the 5th, the special town meeting needs to be formally dissolved. Through my office, town council, and considerable research and review of the most unusual circumstances concerning the special town meeting from February 5th, 2024 were examined. We reviewed relevant Massachusetts statutes, the Danvers General Bylaws, the Town of Danvers Representative Town Meeting Act from 1930 as amended, as well as reference material commonly referred to as town meeting time and Robert's Rules of Order. The goal is not simply to close the special town meeting,
Was
but
to
to close the special town
close
meeting.
out the one that was held 3-4 weeks ago.
Right, and the reason why they did that, because I stood up with 7 other people for a point of order on the clarity, and she covered the microphone and was talking to the town clerk, okay? She didn't pay attention, okay? I don't know. Then all of a sudden, everybody got up and started leaving. They didn't close the meeting the right way. But we didn't get acknowledged, okay? I even put in a letter of a complaint that my town meeting member rights were violated by her not paying attention to me and not recognizing me. Look, there it is. There's the piece of paper I turned in, okay? Now, I turned it into clerk because she's the one that takes care of the
Right, the transmittal.
the
back
transmitter.
to
But
the-
all she did was give a copy to Pat Frazier and to the town manager. That's all she did.
And
So,
this whole stir was because they wanted to get past the petition, the trash fee.
Right.
They wanted that done.
they wanted it passed.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And why don't you run the rest of the clip?
They didn't want to run a vote. They didn't want it should have been a
Just
roll call vote.
quickly.
Right.
If we lost, we lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the thing is that this was a turkey accomplishment by the town moderator and the Board of Selectmen because they did not want to have input from the general public, which is the town meeting members.
That's,
So they did not allow.
you're out of
Turn that
order.
up, please.
Please take your
They did
seat.
not allow. They did not. They wanted to just.
You are out of order. You are out of order. You are out of order.
You should recognize me. You recognize us here to speak.
Mr. Betancourt, if you continue to disrupt this meeting, you will be asked to
The
leave.
reason being is they don't want to take a roll call vote. Okay, that's why they want to pass it through on her resignation. How do I know? How do I know that she heard the voice the right way? To me, I heard it 4 or 5 times. I didn't hear it the way she heard it, but that's what happens here. Okay, this is not the first time. This is about the 4th time this has happened in the years that I've been going to as a town meeting member. Okay, and I don't think it's right.
Well, that's enough of that. I think what it was gavelled down as soon as the official vote was taken to shut down the town meeting, and that's all it was for. But the issue that I have is that the legal counsel of this town, who's getting paid, I don't know, $200,000, $300,000
Yeah,
a
he's
year
on a
to
retainer.
make his opinions, always, and I've experienced this myself, always expresses the view of the town manager and the town hall.
Right, and we're the ones paying them. The one that pays them is the taxpayers, the
So
ratepayers.
what we should do is on the March 16th meeting that's going to be conducted on Saturday is withhold the budget funds for the legal counsel and let them reconsider who should be representing the town. That is a option that we have. So we have gone through 15 minutes, which is good. We got through the special town meeting. The issue at the end of that town meeting is that the general public, who are the elected town meeting members, were not allowed to contest or speak to an issue that was very important for the town.
No, as far as I'm concerned, you're absolutely right.
The only thing that the town manager and the town moderator and the board of selectmen wanted to do is approve or expunge the vote that was being taken in regard to the trash tax.
I'm going to say one thing again, okay? There's no way that 3 people and an unelected board should do a $1.3 million on the taxpayers of Danvers. There's no way in hell it should happen, okay? Town meeting should do it, or they should put it on the ballot and have the town vote on it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that was the point of the whole petition,
Exactly.
right? And
But
400 people.
they don't wanna
felt
hear
the
it.
Same way.
Yeah.
That's right. And the thing is that when we came across that thin blue line flag issue, it took one person to send an email to the town manager to stop it, and this has over 400 people that signed the petition, and they basically trashed it.
You know, another thing here, we got to really get serious here in this town, okay? The reason being is, like Mr. Trax told us that if this didn't pass, we'd have to cut 14 jobs, okay? He said the school system, okay? They said town hall. But wait, hold on, let me just finish. Because what I'm trying to get at is, he's got a wife and a daughter that work for the school department. As far as I'm concerned, that is a conflict of interest. He should not have been able to vote on this, okay? And if he couldn't vote on this wouldn't have passed. So this is where the problem comes in. I am not a law person by any means or whatever. We have Mr. Mills on the board. He knows quite a bit. I'm surprised that this happened. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being honest here, okay? If we have to do the right things. That's how it should happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're right.
Well, this was an avenue of commenting to the general public and scare tactic.
Yeah.
This was a
absolutely
scare
what it was.
tactic
Yeah.
because when we get to the budget that's being presented to the town now, last year there was $12.2 million that was left over from the funds that were requested. $12.2 million would have made a good relief of taxpayers that could have received a reduction in their taxes.
You know my honest opinion, though? They have no heart. I'm serious. They don't have a heart. They don't think of people that live here that have to pay rent, or old folks that live in here. I don't think they do. I think they just think that the power almighty and they have all the money. It can't be this way. The reason why I'm saying is they keep telling us it was only $200. Oh, it's only a cup of coffee. That's not true. They went up about $600 in everybody's taxes. Another two, it's $800 a year. Who can afford $800 a year in taxes, basically, okay? Someone that is retired, okay? There's no way in hell. He's lucky if he gets $50 or $100 in a year, okay? He's not going to get that kind of money. That's why it's ridiculous.
Not enough people complain, and that's the problem because
Well, it starts back with not enough people know about it.
that's right.
And what happens is, from my point of view, the town government operates in their own sphere, as we all do. So if you're a nurse, you're busy with your nurse job and your family, and you don't really know what's happening at town hall. And they can say, oh, well, we notified everybody. We've been working on this for 18 months, and I'm offended that you said that. Nope, you should do better with your communications. Put it in the electric bill. Put it in the water bill. We should have more referendum votes. People should be able to vote on this stuff.
Well, this is a result of the way the town government is orchestrated and organized. And the Town Manager Act and the Town Charter have not been reviewed over the last 30 years. And the thing is, I have a list of items that I think we should bring up to the town meeting and ask for. Let me just give you an example. I mean, this is probably a great time for it. The items that I have identified for myself, and I'm going to bring this up, and this is a Town of Danvers citizens petition. All we need is 10 signatures for each and every one of these items. one of the items, and I'm just going to be very brief, citizens petition proposals, town charter review. That has to be established. There has been some movement on the Board of Selectmen. At least 2 or 3 of them are receptive to that happening, but they don't know when it should happen. I say it should happen now, and that's where the Board of Selectmen should have some guts behind them, and they don't. They're afraid of the town manager and the rest of the board.
I'm hoping we get a new people on there and have them do it. That's what I'm hoping for.
That we're getting to that in a minute. Citizens petition proposal number 2. Implement a voting/recording system for town meeting votes, which will be we need to have some funding and identification of a recording system that the town meeting members will receive when they come, that will identify who they are and where they're voting. And that will be a clicker system, basically,
Yes.
that will record the votes
Yes.
as they come, because we've had too many
Yes.
of these questionable votes that
yes.
are not being considered.
That just seems like common sense.
They don't want it.
The
The reason why they don't want it, they can't steal the votes.
Well, if you're gonna sign up for a job,
Right.
then you need to be responsible for that job
Well,
and
then,
held responsible.
then you are in line for one of those positions for the Board of Selectmen, because you volunteered your time and your efforts. This is one of the items that has to happen, but it has to happen by the Board of Selectmen. That has to be implemented. It's probably going to cost $50,000
I don't even think it will cost that.
altogether.
I don't even think it will cost
Well,
that.
Why couldn't there be an app on a phone?
it can
Everybody
be.
votes right by their phone.
No, but you see, you have to protect the vote, and you
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
identified and all that. So you have to. This will release the names of people that voted one way or the other.
Exactly, and that's the point of town
Right.
meeting.
But
That's how
you
it should
see,
be.
that's where
Just so we all
town,
know what's going on.
the town
want
meeting
that.
members don't want that.
No,
I
no, no. It
understand,
has to
but
be that way.
Don't take that position.
Well, then that's
Yeah.
what we need
If I'm
to
not
do.
voting the right way, vote me out.
Don't get
That's what I say.
You don't get the glory with the.
The third item that I've identified, and there's going to be more because I have 5 of these forms that I think I'm going to submit, and I'm hoping you guys can help me, and other people will help me. Citizens petition proposal, return to tax support of trash costs back to tax supported. This fee business is an option that the town manager claimed that it was a legislative action allowed him to impose these fees
Right.
on our residents. He is not elected in this town. He does not have the electorate support. The Board of Selectmen do, and no wonder.
And the finance board is not elected either. They're
That's-
appointed.
that's right.
So they shouldn't even be voting on it either.
Well, there's a lot of questions
That is the
about
process, though.
That's right.
It's a
That's-
process, but
Right.
Tax fee or and I call it a trash task. I don't care what
It is.
Gardner thinks of me or not, but this is something that they have been dealing with for the last 15, 20 years. This has been identified on the budget transmittal since Wayne Marquis came around. He used to put that on as the last item. Consideration of trash fee should be implemented, but he never did that because he didn't have the Board of Selectmen support. Now, at this current town manager has devised a method of getting together this committee, the committee of elected and appointed officials, to decide on whether to impose this or not. He didn't have to do that. He identified that as a trash tax, but he couldn't get it past the selectmen as a tax because this was authorized in the legislative laws that we have in this state of Massachusetts as a method of overriding 2.5. And this wasn't, and a lot of the cities are using it.
Oh, they are
The
too.
cities are using it,
yeah.
but they are elected officials that make this decision, not an appointed official.
Right.
So the town manager was wrong, and even the town council presented that at the meeting that he was wrong.
I know. So they lied to us. I mean, these people got to stop lying.
Well, that's part of the problem. So that could be another citizen's petition, and I'm going to pursue that because I'm going to go and talk to the Board of Selectmen and see if I can get David Mills and Gardner and Bennett.
You might have to hire a lawyer to do the writing. Believe me, they always find something wrong with the writing.
Well, then what we need to do is get it approved by the legal counsel.
Yeah.
Because
Even he'll find something wrong with it.
the fourth one that I've identified, and I sat down this afternoon and I said, this something has to happen. The citizen petition proposal number 4 would be request the Board of Selectmen to increase the establishment of a pilot program to raise tax revenue at the Beverly Airport.
Oh, that one I love.
Now, they are now in the process of indoctrinating us that this forgiveness of the tax implications of the Beverly Airport for the town of Danvers was a pilot program. Well, I don't remember it being a pilot program. It was a straight forgiveness of the taxes for the 2 commissioners that we have acquired. Those commissioners are not performing the function that this town needs.
They can't do their thing. It's right now. It's 7 of them on there, right? So 2 versus 5. What are they going to do? Okay, when they get the full board in, it's going to be 9. Okay, so it's going to be 7 against 2. What's going to happen? Nothing.
Yep.
It's a waste of money. Just bring the barrel over and throw the money in it. That's it.
That's right. So those are just a scratching the paper, and I need to. I will provide support and advice on this as far as I can, but I'm not going to do it alone because I already did the proposal for the Beverly Airport pilot program, and I was knocked down. And then I did one for the Beverly Airport conversion to a regional airport and under different laws and conditions. Nobody wanted to listen.
You know why no one wants to listen? Teddy Spiliotis looked into this, okay? You can do it. It takes legislative action. It's a lot of work, okay? That's the reason why it's not been done yet, okay? It has to be done in Boston, okay? It has to be done with our legislators, okay?
Well,
and that's what it is. It's work. They don't want to do it. It's too much work.
Our legislators are asleep at the switch. Sally Kearns is not responding. Joan Lovely, again, she has been apparently at some of the meetings, but the thing is they can't do anything. And I went to Representative, who's the federal rep?
You're talking about
Seth
Moulton.
Moulton. I went to his office. I sat down with his staff that's working over there. And this gentleman, I can't remember his last name, but his first name is Liam. And he
That's the
has
new
come to the meeting,
Yes.
but he doesn't understand what the real reason for all this concern is, because we have supplied a letter complaining
Mark,
about this to, let me just finish.
No, I understand.
Let me finish this
I
time.
understand. I mean,
Is that why I'm in the
Tony,
middle here?
relax. You're in the middle.
We could have put a piece of plywood here. That would have worked too.
The thing is that Moulton's office has assigned Mr. Abbott at that time, and he He was ever present at these meetings. He was concerned. He listened. Now they have a young gentleman, that Liam, who is trying to understand what the problems are. But I don't think he does.
No, he doesn't.
So we need to restore the discussion regarding the master plan, because that is what the master plan has caused all this upheaval.
Yes, it has.
Because everybody is concerned about the expansion of the airport, and now we have expansion of the runway, both directions, and then now we have 2 hangars that are going to be in people's living room adjacent on the west side. They don't care about the west side because that's not in Beverly. That doesn't have any concern. And they do not understand that there is noise generated from jets starting up in the hangars and revving up their engines.
You heard the guy, 94 decibels, he said.
Yeah, well, he's coming on this coming Monday.
Oh, really?
So on the Beverly Airport side, 6 p.m. is the commissioners' meeting on...
Conservation?
No, commissioners' meeting.
Oh,
the
Monday.
airport
Okay, got
commissioners
it.
on Monday,
Okay.
March 11th.
Okay.
So what I would suggest, if you're interested in what's going on, please come to the meeting, because they are receptive to listening at least.
Yes.
So that's a good thing.
No, it's a good thing.
But I think this time the Beverly Airport commissioners are the turkeys for the moment.
Oh, definitely. No question in my
And
mind.
they are definitely represented by these turkeys, which are very well dressed and colorful.
Mark, if you notice, though, at the airport, the only one getting rich over there is the FBOs. Okay, that's it, man. They're the only ones getting rich over there. Okay?
And that's who wants to build the hangars.
Right. The problem is, if that tax ever comes in, believe me, I think they're going to have to close the airport because I don't think they can afford it.
So I was just going over my paperwork for the last few shows, and one of the
I haven't had a chance to express my outrage.
you do?
Yeah, on a particular topic.
What are you going to scream about?
The shirt you made me wear.
Oh, well, no. You know what? This is interesting.
I just want to apologize up front.
No, this is the uniform of the day.
Yes.
Is it?
It is.
We're going on a cruise after
It's the
this.
Don Ho uniform of the day.
We should all sign up for a cruise.
I'm going for a cruise. Out of Boston to Bermuda. I'm telling you.
But the biggest issue that I think we need to consider is I have been looking at my Freedom of Information request that I've been making to the town hall and the town manager and the finance director.
How'd that go?
Well, I haven't got anything for 2023.
Oh,
But
why?
I was looking at my requests from 22 and 21, and I still believe that this is what we need to do, is defund our bloated town management to fund trash tax costs.
I agree with
Well,
you.
if there's 12 million left over from last year, then what?
But the town manager wants to use that for different pet projects. I mean, this has been going on for
Yeah,
years.
because it's easier to tax the people.
No
Well,
kidding.
that's because the selectmen and the town meeting allow it. But the problem is that the selectmen blame the town meeting members for approving the budgets, and the town meeting members don't know anything about the budget because all they do is rubber stamp whatever the town wants.
Yeah, I don't think they realize the power they hold.
They don't.
They don't.
And
Well,
the
they don't
thi-
even let us. If you go by forced resignation, believe me, sometimes I swear to God, it goes the other way, man. I'm telling you. You think I'm kidding you, but I'm not. Look, I know people left because of this already, okay? Quite a few people. They just have had it. They just left. They don't want to be bothered with it because they didn't think it was fair.
Well,
It's the truth.
The
I'm gonna
problem
tell you the way it
is that unless you make your presence known, they
If you try
will-
to make your presence known, they don't like it. You become the skunk at the barn party.
Well,
I'm not sure if that's the first time you've been that skunk.
Speaking of
just saying.
that, I was present at the budget hearing for the school department.
Yeah, I did see that
for
one.
the school committee, and this is exactly what I called myself. I didn't
know, I
want
heard
to
that.
be the skunk at the lawn party
Right.
for the budget approval of the school department.
And it's sad. The only person there was you complaining
That's
about
right.
it.
There was
and everybody
one-
else was go along as you can.
Well, the thing is that the meeting was well represented by teachers, principals, and school committee.
People that have interest in their pocketbook.
And what I basically what summed up what the discussion was, I had this full sheet of questions that I picked up as I sat there and listened to what they're proposing. Is that the whole thing turns out to be a support and expansion of the current level of teachers with the population in the our schools has been decreasing over the last 5 years.
Oh, don't worry, that's going to change.
Well, no, they've already changed that because they invited all of the illegal immigrants that are coming into this
And we got
town.
Maple Street Project. What's that going to bring? Who knows? You don't know.
Well, that is, well, that's an interesting
Well,
subject.
you don't know.
We have a meeting scheduled this afternoon
Yes,
or this
yes,
evening at
yes.
6:30.
Right.
That is the pat you on the head meeting, and because
Well-
there's nothing that can be done.
Well,
What are they going to take the building down?
who's running that meeting?
I have no clue. I think Mr. Henry's office probably. I'm not sure.
Well, let me just finish off on the school department, school committee, is that they sat there and they readily approved a budget that they were conducting a hearing on, and the budget was already printed in the box.
1.6. I mean 1.6.
6.41% increase from
Okay,
last
6
year.
yes.
But this year, what has happened is
I thought it was always supposed to be 2%. That's how it used to be. 2.5%. Wasn't that how it used to be?
yeah, sure.
Anyways, what you used to hear that even at town hall. It used to be
Yeah,
2%
well,
and 1% 2%. That was it.
They
What happened?
lied to you at town meeting, and they lie to you every day. And the thing is, all they want to do is manipulate the funds for their purpose.
And I heard that the 5 teachers that they had a grandfather going to put all on the payroll now.
That's exactly what this whole thing was about.
And did the MCAS scores, did we benefit from that?
What has been the performance of students versus the investment you are asking for? That was one of the questions I raised. They had no answer for that because the discussion about the budget, the school budget, was only about special education and how to increase the number of teachers, psychologists, and nurses.
Because they said it's supposed to save us money, but I don't know. Haven't
Well,
seen it yet.
they claim this is nothing new. This has been going on for 30 years.
This is how they get around spending more money.
How has all this investment improved the student performance? Taxpayers need reassurance. All they're doing is talking to the parents of students that are already in the school system. They do not want anybody from outside of parents to participate in their discussions. And, you know, I respect the new superintendent. He's very well versed,
Nice
but
man.
he is in the tank for the school department. The school committee in itself, after I ran and I investigated what they actually do, they follow the DESE, which is Department of Secondary Education, and they are running the schools according to what the Department of Education is
And it seems like
telling them to do.
it seems like it's a mess right now, too.
It is a mess, and I think that before they get to raising the budget, maybe we could get the adult books out of there. You know, maybe we could focus on teaching the kids. They don't teach them in cursive writing anymore, right?
Nope.
Nobody does that. Is that because the Constitution's written in it? They don't want them to read it.
Well, I received
Maybe that's
another
right. They
copy
see the
of
Bill of Rights.
Constitution.
Well, you know, and then the whole transgender push. I don't think that should be going on in school.
No way.
Well,
And that's
I-
all coming straight down from the state and the feds.
just to conclude my irate discussion, and the only person in the room that was complaining about what they were talking about this budget, I don't remember exactly how much the budget was for the school.
The 40 million.
But-
64, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it was. Thought that's what I heard. I thought you said
It
that.
went up 6.41%.
Right, and I
But
think-
the budget right now, the school committee controlled budget is $52 million.
Okay.
That's what they
thought I
approved it
heard.
to from last year at 48 million. Now, the only thing that they forget, and I brought this up, is when you add the school department support by departments of DPW, the grounds, the
Right.
streets, the cleaning, the
grass cut.
maintenance of the buildings, the building of the buildings, that brings us up to about $65 million. $65 million is almost half of what the town spends on services in this town. The only thing that I would add is, subtract from the total, which is this year $144 million, is that they do not deduct that fat that they have built into the budget. So next year, maybe they'll have more than $12.5 million sitting there for their pet projects.
And there'll be another fee for us, so.
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
probably. Who knows?
and this
Well, there
fee
will
is,
be.
this fee is included in here already.
Oh, I believe.
And the thing is that we need to defeat
And
that.
people don't even know about it. I was talking to one of my tenants yesterday. She doesn't know nothing. She knew nothing about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. The communication has to be a lot better, and things. If it's really transparent, then people should be able to. Everyone in town should be able to vote on this. You know.
Well, no, all the voters, the residents that are registered to vote, there are 20,000.
21, right?
21,000, right, 21,000. They should have an opportunity. Now, there are options, like I said earlier about this town meeting, that this article can be reworded and reprocessed as a citizen's petition, and all you need is 10 signatures. The only thing is you need to write it in a fashion that the legal counsel will not discount it.
We need an attorney.
But again, that's opinion. That's an opinion.
Everything is an opinion.
Right. So, you know, you could have one lawyer write it, and the other one says no.
Well, the one thing is we have to do is get the town manager to relax from being as woke as he's been in the past, and the Board of Selectmen need to place this on the warrant, because they had an opportunity to reject this vote or reconsider the vote,
Right.
and eliminate all this contentious issues that are happening and the disgusting comments that are being made by town meeting members, because they have not had an opportunity to speak their mind.
But we're being taxed to the max.
Well-
I mean, if you look at the tax bill. Do you realize that the appraisals right now of the town? I think the bank appraisal is lower than them. I'm telling you right now. I swear to God, man, they're higher than the bank. I'm telling you, they're better off selling their things to the bank. I'm telling you, because if you have a bank doing appraisal, the town of Danvers is higher. I guarantee you.
Well, then, if that's the case, then what you have is a case for appealing your assessment.
Good
And-
luck.
And the thing is that every year in January, I remind everyone about the appeal process for their assessments. Now, the appeal process is really dictated by the commercial and industrial. because they send their attorneys in and they reduce the assessments because the assessors in this town do not really know the value of the real property in the commercial and industrial side.
You know what their answer was to me one year when I went in and complained? I wasn't charging enough money in rent.
Well, I've had that happen to me.
Well,
I mean,
it-
my God!
Well, it's definitely
Now they
want to
run my they want to run my business.
Right. It must be your fault.
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
it is his fault. The town cannot make a mistake. But I think what has happened is I've asked this question every year. There's 60 to 70 individuals that appeal their assessments. They won't tell me how many are approved and how many are disapproved.
Because if
But
it's right.
There
It's a
are-
revolving thing.
One of the things that we should do next January, or even during the town meeting, is have the assessor apply a factor to the appraisals of our properties due to the noise level of the Beverly
Oh,
Airport.
Yes, I would like that one.
Because,
You know how much money they'd lose? Oh my God!
well, they have to have the individuals appeal those assessments. So,
If a couple
No.
people start getting it, you see how fast everybody show up.
well, I'm running out of time here, guys.
I know.
Well, the thing is, what I want to do is bring up the town elections. They're coming up on May 7th.
Yes.
And we just went through the
Yeah.
primary election state.
Yeah.
And what has happened, there's been a rejuvenation of interest in regard to the primary elections that have been happening.
I think people are waking up.
Well, they need to wake up.
Yes.
The thing is that even though with all of this new interest, they're still getting defeated.
Oh yeah, right. Well, the train is moving fast.
Well, the thing is, it's running away from us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is, we have an opportunity for local elections. And what I went through at the town hall today, and I'll start with the town meeting elections. Town meeting, we have 8 precincts, and we have, 16?
18, right?
18.
Yeah,
precinct.
18
Yeah,
per
eight.
precinct,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is
142, isn't that right?
144.
144.
And then the 5 selectmen.
144 plus the Board of
Yeah.
Selectmen,
Yeah.
they come on board just to weigh in on everything.
Well, to make sure it passes the way they want it.
That's right. So what I did is
3-2, 3-2.
Yeah, exactly.
I went through the book of people that have signed up for papers to be passed in for elections, and I found that Precinct 3 still has 4 vacancies
Really?
that have not been identified to be worthy of running for the office.
So if you live in precinct 3, you have 4 seats you could
You
fill.
have 4 seats that you can sign up for, and if you sign up for 8, is it 8 or 6? 6. There are 3 years.
Yeah.
So there's 6
Six,
positions
per
that
year.
are
Got it,
open.
okay.
18 per precinct for the year.
That's right.
So in precinct 3, I found that there are 4 open spots that can be filled. And if you sign up for it, and there's only 6 people running, automatically you get elected.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they know how it is already.
Well,
The more the better, you know.
well, I'll tell you one thing is I have a very interesting thing happen to me. I had a young gentleman call me up, and we've been talking about running for town meeting and all that, and he finally signed up for Precinct 4. And Precinct 4 has, I think, 8
Wow.
eight
8
people
seats.
that have, 8 people that have signed up
Oh,
to
okay.
run for
Oh,
6
good.
seats.
Okay,
Yes.
good, good,
So there's going to be a contested race.
good. That's good.
Precinct 5
That's
has
mine.
openings as well. There are not enough people that have signed up.
Oh, really? For 5?
No, there's less. I think there's only 4 out of the 6 that
I
have
know that.
signed up. So you need to go and check the book and get somebody interested. Precinct 7, my precinct, has 6 seats and 6 people have signed up.
okay.
So you know who actually, I will plug her name for town meeting in Precinct 7, Eileen Harris.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, good.
Eileen Harris
Yeah.
finally,
Yeah.
after all these years,
Yeah.
has come up and volunteered to be a member of town meeting.
Good.
And there are 6 people and 6 openings, so she should be able to automatically go in. I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna run. Precinct 8, my old precinct, needs 4. They only have 2 people that have, either incumbents or have signed up. So Precinct 8,
That's the Middleton, right?
that's the Middleton side. Yes, it is. So
Middleton.
those are the positions that have been, identified, at least from my visit to the town hall this afternoon. But we also have moderator. Moderator, Pat Frazier, has no competition and no challenger to her position. And I think somebody should really consider running for that position because Pat is wonderful in the way she handles things.
That's a paid position too, right?
No.
I thought you don't
That's-
get, there's no stipend on that?
No, there's no stipend on that.
I thought you got a stipend on that one.
No, they just fund any trips that they need to make to conventions or something like that. That's all they have.
Oh, really?
They don't get a salary.
Oh,
They
wow.
don't get a stipend.
I didn't know that. I thought there was
Town
something.
moderator, that's a position that is well respected and it has a lot of control. Now, she has the ear of the votes, just like you guys have been complaining about. She can make that decision. So if
That's gotta
somebody's
change, though. That has
interested
to
in
change.
running,
It has to change.
well, then
Otherwise,
what,
we're going to lose this town.
then what we need is the electronic recording
Yes,
of
we
the
need-
votes.
Yes, we do.
Selectmen are, there are 2 incumbents, Matthew Duggan, Gardner Trask, and we have
You mean the town manager?
well, town managers automatically, I think they let him run.
I'm talking about the town manager of the select board.
The town manager of the select board. That's exactly what it is. And the thing is that when I speak at the public comment at the selectmen's meeting, that town manager needs to step back. He's not the elected official that I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to the Board of Selectmen. That's who's listening. And the town manager starts jumping in to make his comments and negate anything that we can
He's trying to cover
present.
himself for what, he's
well,
trying.
he's covering his butt, is
Yes.
right. So we have Michael Bean.
Hello.
Welcome on the political trail,
Yeah, it's
and you've
And
got
God bless you.
a hard road ahead.
who needs some new rosary beads for this one?
Yes,
And
please.
Dee Joko,
Yeah.
who is the chairman of the DEI Commission,
I believe so.
and he is the black representative to our town, basically. Gentleman and a scholar. The thing is, I don't know if he knows what he's getting into. This is a political activity, and I just hope he is. I spoke to him at the special town meeting, and one of the questions I asked is, "Are you guys ready for my forum on the presentation of the select board candidates?" And I says, "Well, we'll have probably 3 or 4 questions." And
It's not going to be Hawaii shirt night, is it?
no, maybe we'll figure out something else. But the question he asked, he says, am I going to get the questions ahead of time?
Yeah.
And I said, no way.
That takes the fun out of it.
That's right.
He must be Democrat.
Well, but he is a gentleman and a scholar, and I respect him, and I wish him luck, and I wish you luck.
Thank you.
But we need to replace the current Board of Selectmen.
God, yes.
Maybe not all of them, but at least one that I
Yeah,
know of.
one has to go. Otherwise,
School
this town
committee.
can't take it.
School committee.
Right. There's 2 spots, right?
There are 2 candidates, Robin and Alice. And those are the 2 candidates, incumbents, that ran when I ran for school committee.
Wow.
So this is 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and now they're up for re-election. However, in the sign-up book at the clerk's office,
I think someone took papers out. But
no, nobody took papers out, even the incumbents.
Really?
So I don't know what's going on there,
Are
but
you serious?
I'm serious. I just went there this afternoon. So that is an issue that's happening.
You
I
think
don't
they're
know.
just waiting for the last minute?
Well, of course they are.
Yeah.
They may.
That's a strategy, I guess.
Well, that strategy, they want to know who else is going to run against them. So we have strong people in this town that can run against them because they have not done their job. And they need to be coaxed into really reflecting what the town is all about.
Well, they're getting tons of money, so.
Well,
You
the
know?
money's there, and they don't have to do anything because they're being directed by the school, the Massachusetts State
Right.
Department of Education.
Right.
I hate to say it, man.
And
This
they don't
town-
need to do a thing.
No, and you can't, the state's they don't know what they're doing. I mean, look at what they're doing to our kids. You know?
Well, that's
That's a huge issue, and it's
Well-
being handled incomplete, all wrong, all wrong.
Well, see, the issue with the school committee is that they are in there for their own personal reasons to
Right,
see
right.
their kids graduate.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's about.
Right. But what about everyone else's kids
I know.
and grandkids?
they
you
don't
know?
care.
Yeah. Well,
And the rest of the town, look all the storefronts that are open and stuff. I mean, it's terrible, man. I'm
That's
telling
right.
you. I know it's not the town's fault, but they got to bring something back and do something. I mean, there's no question about it. They got to give some help. Some
All right,
help.
Right.
let's wrap this up because we're running out
No,
of
I
time.
understand. I apologize.
School
I'm just-
committee, there are 2 vacancies, and there are 2 incumbents that have not taken out papers.
Okay.
Library trustees have people
Yeah.
involved, and the more the better for
Right.
the library trustees,
Yeah.
because that library is going woke.
Oh, it's awful.
I know. I don't know what
That
happened.
that misbehavior with the clowns reading to kids needs to stop.
I know. It's since that man left, right? Since the other man left and we made
Alex,
someone else.
Alex, yeah.
I think that's what happened, right?
Okay, we spoke about the budget too already, and we'll get into more of that after the March 16th meeting. And I will stop there because I think at that next show, we'll go into a lot more detail on the budget, but it's going to be after the fact of the 16th Saturday meeting of the minds, and all they're doing. The selectmen haven't received a budget from the town manager yet. Officially, they should be
supposed to have-
getting it on March 1.
Yeah. I thought that's what I heard.
Well, that's what we thought. There was going to be a meeting on the 7th, which is today,
Oh.
and they canceled it. I guess they don't want to accept it. So,
Well, they're getting
Last
ready
word.
for tonight's meeting at the.
last
for
word.
the-
Go ahead.
For the new building.
Well, that's what we should be going to after
Yeah,
this.
except it's built. So what's the point? You know
It's
what I mean?
not even built. It's
You know,
not occupied.
Right. So my last thing is that I would like to get involved with the town. I think we need a bunch of changes, and it takes some hard decisions, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with making those.
Well, you need to have a little bit of chutzpah,
Yeah, I'm
which
okay.
is disguised. Tony,
No, I know. We have to. Otherwise, we're going to lose this beautiful town that I've been here for 46 years, that I hate to see what's happening. That's my honest opinion, okay? And it's not about the $200. It's the principle of the matter, and the old folks and people that can't afford it. We can't keep chasing people out of town.
Right.
Thank you, Tony. And my last word is get involved, like John Toomey has been telling us for years. Get involved and understand the budget process because that's where everything is buried.
God bless.
Good night, Danvers. Thank you very much.